Welcome back everyone for this next installment of Deus Ex Human Revolution, The Missing Link DLC. Here we are on the big shell. It's not really called that. Joining me is Mr. DJB as usual.
Hello there. It's not called the big shell, but it might as well be.
Yes, this is a well-written Metal Gear Solid. I'm so glad there isn't cutscenes and exposition everywhere before I start to play 5 minutes of poorly explained gameplay. Ugh.
Well, with the way you edit this LP, it kind of comes off that way, but I'm sure people understand there is a lot of gameplay that you cut out, so, yeah.
Yes, because it's repetitive. Most of it anyway, when you get the gist of it. But hey, skipping ahead. And we're not actually going to cut through the loading base to get to our mystery contact there. We're actually going to take the side up.
Oh, we're just going to completely cheat it. That's fantastic.
Yes, we're not using augmentations, so we have to stack boxes up. And I've actually brightened the footage up a lot here, so it's going to look very saturated. This is just video stuff, but it will add a lot of noise to the video. Not the audio, but the video itself.
I'm sure people will understand. I think they'd rather see than have perfect, HD quality of a dark room.
Yes, come to think of it, I should have turned the game's brightness up a bit.
That's fine, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can account for.
Yes, there's a practice kit up here anyway, as you can see. And when we're dropping down onto this roof, we want to drop onto the side railing so we don't make any noise, because it's just a tiny little drop.
I love how, this is almost... Would you say this is almost like a puzzle game for,
Well, every game is a puzzle game if you, decide to put enough of a spin on it. I mean, FPS, the puzzle is, where do I shoot to kill the person? This is, which is the best path I can take for my style of game. But anyway, we're sneaking through the loading base now. This is a very quick route, and we have a module for the rocket launcher. There's a side quest tied into that, which I'll show you the rest of the modules for when it comes to it. But first, this is really just simple. We can sneak through the back here, and we don't even have to knock anyone out.
They're just in very convenient algorithms, I guess.
Yes, it's also this pathway. You can grab all of the rocket launcher parts on your first run through, but I cut them out just to get to this main quest, and already.
That's far enough, Jenson.
Oh.
You were behind this?
I said that's far enough. I can explain everything if you just stay where you are.
Yes, the next 10 minutes is video.
That's fine.
Oh, the cutscene.
That's fine.
Why don't you put the gun down? Then maybe we can talk.
You think I'm stupid? You've got every reason in the world to hate me, and I've heard what you do to your enemies. Tell me, did you enjoy putting so many BT contractors into comas?
You're the one who let me off the leash.
It wasn't my choice. As a matter of fact, I think you're going to get us both killed before this is over. But if we'd left you in that brig, who'd be around to save your Dr. Reed?
What do you know about Megan?
I know the name set off way too many bells and whistles when I added it to Burke's profile search on you. But it helped me to figure out who you are and why you stowed away on the ship. You think Belltower kidnapped her, don't you?
You want to tell me you didn't?
I wish I could. But after what I've seen this past year, all I know for certain is she's not on the base. Not anymore.
What's that supposed to mean?
Not what you're thinking. Listen, Rifleman Bank Station supports all Belltower operations in this region, Jenson. Regular contract and special op. 6 months ago, I received orders to pull every regular grade soldier and civilian contractor away from the airstrip. 2 Black Hawk helicopters set down minutes later. I thought it had to do with Australia, especially when I saw covered stretchers coming out.
How many?
5. Guarded by a heavily augmented special ops team. Burke went out to meet the leader, and the whole group disappeared inside the detention camp. There's some kind of black project going on in there, Jenson. Something involving prisoners and scientists. And I need you to find out what it is.
I'm gonna need more information than that. Tell me about this black project.
I wish I could, but it's been classified. So classified every BT suit I've talked to refuses to even acknowledge its existence.
But you've seen something.
Only the edges. This station is part base, part military stockade, and every week a new shipment of belligerents arrives. Only, Interpol says they're not on anyone's terrorist watch list. Most are just civs. harmless civs. Burke takes them into a restricted wing of the detention camp, and they just disappear.
Tell me more about these scientists.
Technically, I'm in charge of operations here, so I keep tabs on people coming in and out. Burke keeps meeting with doctors and researchers, telling me it's part of his interrogation technique.
You got any names?
None that I trust, unless the Doe family suddenly expanded into Australia and Asia. Thing is, I don't always see how they leave.
Yet you're sure that Megan did.
The Blackhawks did. Without the stretchers, but loaded with 5 stasis pods this time.
Why me, Keitner? That is your name, isn't it? The one Burke used back on the ship?
Natanya Keitner, yes. And it has to be you, because any movements I make are noted and logged. I can't risk blowing cover.
Cover? Who are you working for?
A few months ago, an Interpol agent approached me. They've had Belltower on their radar for some time, but they've never been able to prove anything. The things that agent pointed out about this base, it opened my eyes to a lot of things. So you see, Jenson, I really am playing the good cop and the bad cop.
Fine. What do you need me to do?
Hold still for a second.
What the...
Relax. I'm just compiling your biometric signature. Retinal scan, pulmonary and vascular imaging, the works. Once I upload it to the network and give Corporal Alan Tyler a security rating, you'll be able to pass through specific checkpoints in this sector.
Only this sector, why not others?
Because you're a fugitive, Jenson. The less room I give you to maneuver in, the more likely it is you'll stay one. I can get you into the detention camp, but the interrogation wing is going to be a problem. Only Burke can give clearances for that.
And I assume you don't want me to go ask for one.
Still the comedian. There's a security mainframe inside the detention camp's central command tower. You'll need to upload this copy of your biometrics there by hand. Contact me using your Infolink once you do. Any more questions?
I'd like a little clarification here about you and Burke. I take it he outranks you.
Technically, yes. But this station is only part military stockade. And while he and his unit have 100% control over the detention camp, I have authority over the base.
So I don't need to worry that this is all just some creative attempt at mutiny.
Mutiny? You think I'd risk so much because... Listen close, Jenson. Burke is a sexist, chauvinist pig. And yes, he outranks me. He's also been in Belltower a lot longer than me, so he's got more connections. Which he's used to undermine me at every turn. But that is not why you and I are standing here right now. People are getting hurt. Innocent people. And we have to find out why and expose it.
Exposure could destroy Belltower.
Belltower used to have honor. We do this right, it might again someday.
The guards in the prison complex, are they Burke's men or yours?
Definitely Burke's. Highly trained, special operatives. So if you start a firefight in there, don't expect to live long.
I'll keep that in mind. I could use some more hardware. Any chance Corporal Tyler will have access to the armory?
You're still a fugitive, Jenson. I suggest you keep a very low profile. Still, there is someone who might be able to supply you. One of the base mechanics, a civilian named Quinn. He runs a nice sideline in procurement.
I know the type. Why should I trust him?
Because I do, and because he has no love for Burke. He's in the lower level maintenance area near the elevator. He'll get you what you need.
That's all I need to know.
Good. I'll upload to the security network from here, so get going. Alan Tyler will exist by the time you reach the prison security port. Just be careful, and try not to draw too much attention.
So yes, Natanya Keitner is voiced by Catherine Kidd. I don't think Catherine does a very great job of acting as Keitner, because Keitner kind of doesn't come off as multi-layered like most people. She's kind of one note most of the time, but that may be a direction. I really don't know.
I mean, she is constantly keeping a cover, and she's playing double agent, I guess, as it were, so...
yes.
Yeah.
So she's been contacted by Action Roll.
She's been contacted by the Action Roll.
Yes. Yes. She's involved in the other Deus Ex game. I can't remember what it's called. The recent one that was for iPads and was a pile of shit.
Oh yeah, that one. I know what you mean.
Yeah, everyone does. It shouldn't be named. But more information on that because we're about to meet a key character for the missing link, who also gets bonus points for being Irish.
Ooh, very nice.
And has a circle drawn on his face. Hello, Gavin.
Are you Quinn?
Yeah, that's me. Jenson, is it? You weren't followed, were you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I can believe that. They're having a hell of a time keeping up with you.
What purpose does that circle serve?
I'm deathly curious.
I was so indecisive there, I have no idea why.
That's alright.
Yeah, I like to play it by ear. Whatever works, works.
Practical man, aye. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. Maybe you won't bring the bass down around my ears.
Look, Keitner said you can help me. Can you?
Yeah, she told me to be expecting you. I'm just glad you came as soon as you did instead of going off on your own. There's enough kegs of powder lying around here already without throwing another loose cannon in the mix. You know how much we're risking to keep you off the radar? We've only got so much pull around here. It's Burke's show, and he'll do as he bloody well pleases, which means stamping out any rats the moment he gets wind of them.
I'm grateful, but can we get on with it? I understand you run a nice little sideline in procurement.
Aye. From time to time you might say being inclined to do a little, how should we call it? Bartering. On the side. Since the commander signed off on it, I suppose I could open my stock to you. For a price, that is.
You mean I have to pay?
What? Of course you have to bloody well pay. I ain't exactly a fucking armory quartermaster down here. I'm just a civvy contractor trying to make ends meet. This ain't a bleeding charity.
Considering the circumstances.
Circumstances? What, that you're a fugitive and I'm risking my neck just talking to you? What are you trying to pull here? Although, I don't suppose you had anything to do with the stasis pod that was saved back in the ship.
How do you know about that?
Ah, so it was you, eh? Well, let's just say I have my sources and your little random act of kindness didn't go unnoticed. Tell you what, I'll give you a discount on me wares. Just no freebies or handouts. But now that I think of it, if you're looking for a little something for nothing and don't mind a little light work, I've got an errand that could use running. Consider it a special offer of sorts. Interested?
Hooray for side
Yes,
quests.
I am. It's a collecting quest. The best kind of quest.
Alright, tell me about this special offer.
Look, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but this base is packing some serious heat. Especially in the form of those walking brick shithouse boxcars. If you get me a few odds and ends, I might be able to whip up a little something to make getting around easier, if you catch my meaning.
What kind of something are we talking about here?
Nothing fancy. Just a 329 series MPRS.
A rocket launcher?
That's right, mate. And custom built. By yours truly, of course. You see, while I might be able to get my fingers on some low-level arms, I'm a little restricted when it comes to military-grade bells and whistles. I'm itching to try out a new trigger propulsion mix. Maybe even recalibrate the guidance system for some extra punch.
While I find your enthusiasm for explosives slightly disturbing, something like this could come in handy.
Like I always say, speaking soft is for the birds when you got the biggest stick on the block. Look, all you gotta do is find me some components, and I'll do the rest. An earlier boat had a shipment of 329s, but I wasn't able to poach any of them before they made it to the armory. Luckily, little Sparrow in my employ managed to lose one through maintenance circulation, but he got himself shit canned before I could collect. Now my little bute's lying around the base somewhere in bloody pieces. The launcher, I mean, not the wee man. Though, no idea really happened to him.
Right, so, long story short, you need me to find the parts and bring them back to you.
Yeah, that about sums it up, I'd say. Just find me the trigger module, scope assembly, and launch a barrel, and we're in business. I can sweep up the rest from leftovers here in the shop.
So yes, let's go find these now. Well, you recognise this edit. This is in Hangar Bay 2, just crawling along the ceiling. And you can see just there's a box open that I was looking at, and with that we have to either take the guard out at the back of the shop just there. As you can see, there's a little box, and that's just simply sneaking around the back of the loading bay. But inside the crate that I'm leaning on now, there's the rocket launcher barrel. So what we're going to do after we jump onto it and do a little jump down, as you can see, is we're going to just jump down because that guard will not move unless we make some noise. And of course we keep our ghost ranking because ghosts make noise apparently.
Very noisy ghosts. Being haunted
Absolutely.
really loudly.
So after dragging that guy out of the way, we can stack some boxes up. And we're going to need all 3 of them. So we can stack 2 up, jump up. Like so. So we have 2 on a stack. And then we can pull the top one off. And we have another box left up here, which is the 3rd box. And we can stack those up, and it's kind of like using a ladder that...
This is like a Half-Life 2-esque puzzle, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, so up here we have a reloading speed upgrade, which we can use for our pistol. We might need it, we might not. And the second one, as we also know, is through loading bay 1 on our way to Keitner, which we've already seen being picked up.
So, quick question, are you doing all this for a rocket launcher, which, all things considered, you won't
We
be
can
able to
sell it,
use?
we can sell it.
Ah, okay. Okay.
But as you see, this is a little section where during loading bay 1 there was a little nook to the right, and this is going down that corridor.
Mm-hmm.
I might edit in a map in post, I might not. But here we're just going to hop onto the desk and crawl through the vents. This is at the bottom level of the office blocks, right at the back, if you're wondering. And here we have the scope and some ammo.
Very nice, okay.
Absolutely, and there's also a pocket secretary in this room for a code. Not that we'll need it anyway.
Rest from leftovers here in the shop.
And now we can sell it off
I
to
think I
him.
already found some of the components. Are these them?
Hey, let me see what you got there. Fucking deadly. That's all of them. Give me a sec with me tools, I'll get them sorted out right and proper. Right then, that'll do you. Anything else I can be helping you with then?
So if your inventory's
I gotta
full,
go.
then the rocket launcher drops on the floor, as you can see.
Well,
So now we're going to go into his little shop.
myself and the-
And David, do you remember how we saved that person in the stasis pod
Yes?
in the previous video? Well, we actually get a discount for saving her. Gavin's like, oh, you wouldn't have anything to do with saving that person, and if so, he gives us a
Right.
25%
So-
discount.
Very nice.
And he has practice kits on him as well.
What can you tell me about this base?
Nothing you don't know, probably. To the outside world, it's a Belltower naval logistics headquarters and supply point for their Pacific operations. Beneath the surface, though, it's much, much more.
How so?
Look, nothing personal, mate, but I prefer if the commander did most of the informing. As far as I'm concerned, the less I know, and more importantly, the less I say in this matter, the better off we all are.
What exactly do you do here, Quinn?
In a more civilized world, you might say I pass for the base's lead maintenance engineer. But if you look at it from Belltower's point of view, I might as well just be a glorified janitor. Pays good though, so, not complaining.
If the pay is good, why the underground market?
But why not? You see, civilian contractors operate under different jurisdiction when it comes to bringing outside goods into the base. So while the rank and file grunts can only order and receive essentials, toothpaste and the like, I, being the entrepreneurial chap that I am, offer them a more robust catalogue of goods and services. You know the sort. Smokes, beverages, and gentleman's literature.
How does this involve weapons?
Now, let me finish. As an enterprising fellow, I require an exchange of valuables for these slightly less than essential supplies, and often receive some very non-civilian contractor-regulated equipment in exchange, if you catch me drift. Now, normally, I launder my stock through a contact on the mainland, but a deal in Shanghai recently fell through, so lucky for you, I've got some excess inventory to move. Consider this whole arrangement a matter of fortunate timing.
And Keitner is okay with all of this?
Not exactly. You see, some time ago, the commander got wind of my little operation down here. But before she could throw me in the brig, I offered her something I knew she couldn't refuse. Information. I ain't bragging, but I'd managed to build myself quite a little network of sparrows and gophers. I'd known for a while that she'd been at odds with that prick Burke. In the end, we reached a rather simple mutual agreement. I keep her in the loop, and she keeps my neck out of the noose, so to speak.
Tell me about the commander, Keitner.
Lieutenant Commander, officially. But the grunts don't pay no mind to that. She's the commander as far as they're concerned. It's the Reds who stick to the formalities, you see. Because they're Burke's boys. The spooks. Special Operations. You might say there's a bit of a division of loyalty among the troops.
Between Geithner's men and Burke's?
Aye. Since time immortal, there's always been a rivalry of sorts between grunts and spooks. I always assumed it came down to ego. But it's different here. Probably because Burke's different.
What do you mean?
Well, for a start, the man might be a righteous prick, but he's got the respect of his men. And the higher-ups think he's a visionary based on some fancy tech he drummed up a few years back. In other words, the man's got a lot of influence and a lot of power, and, well, I don't think that old proverb needs repeating here.
I gotta go.
Yeah, just remember, if they chase you down here, I'll shoot you myself.
So yes, Gavin Quinn is voiced by Julian Casey. I do really like Gavin, because, like me, he's Irish and he has snake bites.
Those are the only reasons, though.
He has augmented snake bites.
That is great.
Like a couple of grommets in his face. Oh, but he also has that weird circle thing. But Gavin's actually a cyberpunk noir trope, where the janitor is very quiet but knows everything.
Kind of like Scrubs. Yeah, let's go with that.
No. I was talking about film noir styled cyberpunk novels.
I know, I'm kidding.
But I do really like Gavin, either way, and he's basically the mission's...
Whoever heard of dispersing poisonous gas via the ventilation?
Drevin, is it? In Metal Gear Solid?
Oh, yeah.
Where basically we go to him and sell items. And there's some nice little details there from the guard that was speaking that this is foreshadowing to something that we'll need to prepare for. But there apparently is a failsafe that releases toxic gas somewhere in the base.
Now, surely doing that would kill your ghost rank immediately.
What, knowing about toxic gas?
I mean, if you were to release said toxic gas killing people.
Well, it seems like something that we need to prepare for.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we're just going to cross-raid through the scanner. The loading screen, the Mass Effect elevator. And we're into the next area that automatically puts us on a suspicious rank as soon as we take a step through the door. Check this out, this is bullshit. Boom. What did I do? Nothing.
That is lame. That is really lame. How does...
This whole room is fucking lame. Do you know why? Well, by design it works, but like by level design it's fucking awful because there's robots that can hear on the floor above you, and there's 3 floors, so as soon as you stand up and start running, because you're sick of moving at a slow crawl, the robots will hear you and you'll lose your ghost rank. So you have to crawl all the time, which is slow and boring, on all 3 floors.
Alright, okay.
Luckily there's only 3 guards on the 1st floor, no one's on the 3rd. There's turrets on the 3rd floor. A new kind of turret.
This is very distressing, by the way, what I'm looking at right now.
Yes, this is just horrible detainees being locked away, panicking. And it's disturbing both in concept and kind of in imagery that there's these little boxes keeping people inside them.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no.
Yeah. And it's clear that they're not being detained because there's glass that allows the guards to see into them, so it's clear that they're part of a science experiment because they need to be monitored. They're not being thrown into a cell which they can't escape, they're being viewed at. So either this is like a social experiment or something more scientific.
Well, that's mortifying.
So there's those guards knocked out, and we're just going to drag them into the lower levels so no one can spot them, and we're going to carry on to the mission objective, which is this little security room.
I'm glad that these guys are all getting the shit kicked out of them, honestly.
Yes, some of them do question it, but...
Oh, okay.
Geithner, Jenson, I'm in your detention camp and uploading to the security mainframe now.
Copy that. Any problems?
Negative. I gotta say, though, this isn't exactly what I was picturing when you described it.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later. Right now, you need to get inside the interrogation wing and find out what Burke is hiding. Contact me when you know. Keitner out.
So that little nubbin device, you should actually pick up again if you want an achievement, which is to collect 3 of those, and we'll see what I do with them in the next video. But it didn't highlight there, and you can actually pick it up again. I just forgot to in this recording.
Rightio.
I already have the achievement, so whatever. But here we can just look through again for some little details more about the gas canister system, which is also going to be involved in the next video. I actually cut the next video, this and the next video. I separated them because the next video is backtracking.
Oh lord, okay, I see.
Yeah, it's backtracking as in the game wants you to backtrack.
You've got to know this
And
is wrong.
actually forces you to, which means going through this room 3 times. 4 times in the game, actually.
Oh no.
And fucking sucks. So here are the little robots that look like the robots in like mini versions of the
Of those little tank robots you were fighting before.
yeah, we've seen them earlier in the game, but I actually think they look like mini versions of the robots in Terminator 3.
Oh, okay.
It's a shit film, but they look like little robots. And there's the new turrets. They're like you know the Claymore system that you have
Yeah.
as an augmentation. That's their attack, and basically if you cross one of the lines, then they explode.
Oh,
Very
you mean
easy
the
to sneak
Typhoon,
past.
is it? The Typhoon?
The Typhoon, yes. If you get caught in one of the lasers, then they Typhoon the hell out of you.
To be fair, they kind of look Mario, like Super Mario Brothers-ish in their design, which I find kind of funny.
Activating security scan.
I'd say they look more like the
Granted.
murderous robot in Star Trek. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a satellite that deems everyone imperfect.
Oh, yeah.
Nerd reference.
We're nerds, FYI.
Interview rooms. Something's going on. This game adds audiobooks in the missing link. There's 2 of them. And here it is. This is an audiobook.
Post-interview log. Patient returned to detention area after sedation. The medical history gathered indicates that she's a prime candidate for inclusion. Similarly, all biological indicators fall within required parameters. Recommend preparation for stage 1 therapy prior to...
Gary, have you seen this? Have you seen what's on this smart disk? He's gone mad!
Tiffany, slow down. What are you talking about? Where'd you get that?
I found it in the last shipment of materials we received. One of the boxes had been tampered with, blatantly. Someone was sending this to me, to us, to warn us about Commander Burke.
That sounds a little far-fetched, don't you think? I know the 2 of you have butted heads, but Bob's assured me that the commander is with us on this.
Really? So Mr. Page is okay with us using unwilling human test subjects, is he? What's his opinion on Belltower using the OCM to further their military aspirations? Ask him about this Hydra project.
Tiffany, calm down. I know all about the Hydra project. It's nothing nefarious. It's simply a means of allowing soldiers to communicate more efficiently when in the field. You've seen Burke's augmentation. It has nothing to do with the OCM.
So, you think his obsession with this technology is because he's an environmentalist? Gary, I know this bothers you too. Those poor women. We can't keep doing this. We can't just rush blindly ahead and let men like Burke pull our strings. Science has made that mistake before.
I know. All right. Let's go down below and contact Bob. We'll see what he has to say about this. I know he's intrigued by the nanotech possibilities. Certainly, he's disappointed with the results we've had.
Well, that
Mr. Bob.
that was my free audiobook. This Audible thing's a rip-off.
Yeah. So Mr. Bob sounds very similar to a member of the other Deus Ex games. That's a reference that only those people will understand. You're not deserving of that knowledge. You fools.
I'm gonna have to play those.
I'm sorry. I'll stay quiet, I promise. Just don't hurt me anymore.
Calm down. I'm not gonna hurt you.
You're not one of them? One of the scientists? Please, you've got to get me out of here. We've got to do something before they come back. I don't want to disappear like all the others.
It's okay. What's your name?
Nina Sullivan. I don't know why they're holding me in here. They just grabbed me off the street. I heard Cape Town was dangerous, but I thought with all the security around...
Cape Town? South Africa?
Isn't that where we are? I blacked out. They drugged me, I think. I was on vacation in Cape Town at the end of the summer. I was going to be starting senior year in the fall, and I wanted to have an adventure. My parents must be so worried.
I take it you're not a terrorist, then?
No, I've never done anything wrong. Never demonstrated against anything or anything. But neither have most of the girls here. I'm not sure about the men, but please, can't you get me out of here?
I want to help you, but you've got to stay calm. Now, what did you mean by disappear like the others? What's been going on back here?
I don't know much. I've heard rumors and seen some things, and I know what they've done to me. Biopsies, blood samples, tissue cores, like I'm some sort of lab rat.
Is that why you're back here? Separated from the others?
This is where they study and examine us to see if we're compatible or something. I don't know what they want from us. Sometimes we're sent back to the cells. Those that aren't, some of the others think they let them go, but I think they're being sent somewhere else, another facility maybe, somewhere else inside this one.
Why? What makes you think that?
Because of the way they talk when they're with us. It's like they're looking for some kind of perfect gene match or something. I'm not a doctor. I don't understand it. I just don't want them touching me anymore.
Hold on. You said they were coming back? Who? Burke? Is he behind this?
I'm not sure. He comes around, but not that often. I know he gives the orders around here, but he doesn't seem all that interested in us beyond some psych tests and questioning. He mostly leaves us to the doctors or scientists or whatever they are.
Tell me about these scientists. Is one of them a woman named Reed?
I don't know. I mean, there is a woman, but her name is Kavanaugh, not Reed. I heard the guard call her that. She seems different. Like she doesn't like what they're doing to us. I can't help but think she's being forced to do these things. The others just treat us like animals. It's horrible. I just want to go home.
I know this is going to seem cruel, but I can't help you right now.
You're going to leave me here? You can't. You have no idea what it's like. Please.
I can't have you tagging along just yet, or walking the halls alerting the guards. Trust me, when I can get you out, I will. But your best bet is to stay put.
I'll alert them anyway. Burke and the two doctors were just here heading for the morgue. I'll tell them you're here. I will. Let me out or I'll tell them, I swear.
And then what? Do you really think they'll let you go? I'm still the best chance you've got, but you have to be patient.
Please. Don't go.
So yes, this interaction with the inmate is a writing element used to get the player more interacted with the story and invested on an emotional level, so they have more of an incentive to help the people and to be involved with the story. And it works, apparently.
Yeah, it works. Wow, we need to help her out.
Prologue 11/27. Attending, Dr. Tiffany Kavanagh, Dr. Gary Savage. Observing Commander Peter Burke. Patient has been sedated and restrained.
Administering compound P-026, 1.75 cc's. Injection via the left suboccipital triangle, isolating the neocerebellum and pontine nuclei.
Well done, doctors. Appears that the spinal cranial replacement was successful.
She's been stable for 48 hours. Replacing the upper column and posterior skull is more complex than your own hindbrain augmentation, Commander Burke, but it's well within our abilities. That's not our sticking point.
I'm quite aware of what your sticking point is, Doctor. Getting results that I can use.
Gary? Gary, she's waking up. Look at the alpha waves. They're attenuating. Blood pressure and heart rate are rising. O2 saturation is really low.
Savage, get this under control.
Tiff, increase sedation and disconnect the OCM interface. Get a dose of propofol ready, see if she stabilizes.
It's not working, Gary. Damn it. There's a rupture in the circle of Willis. Anterior cerebral artery. Shit, shit. I've got to get in there.
It's already too late, Tiffany. You know that.
Is it still alive?
No. Now we've lost her. I don't understand. She burned out so quickly. Arterial degeneration was clearly more advanced than anticipated. Calm down, Jane.
Dispose of the body. I'll have the next viable candidate prepared and sent down to you, Dr. Kavanaugh.
Bastard.
Yes, they're operating on someone for Project... what
Hydra?
seems... Hydra, which seems to sound very similar to Project Hyrone, which was mentioned as a side quest for Hugh Darrow in the last hub area when we were in Hengsha. Because he talked about there being some kind of supercomputer for communications, and the purpose of Project Hydron was a supercomputer to assist soldiers in the battlefield. And of course this is a sort of behind the scenes, because at the moment, at the time of this plot, in the universe, there's a war brewing in Australia.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yes, you may have seen a few newspaper clippings in the video that we didn't really pay much notice to, but that's more of a background detail and doesn't go into much detail of what the war's about, what's going on behind it. But wars are pretty much the same as a whole.
So this is probably the most depressing place we've seen in the whole game thus far.
It's the bit with the most twisted atmosphere so far. There's another data storage device that we need to collect for the achievement, by the way.
Alrighty.
Yep. And we can't hack every device because we can't use augmentations to be more than a simple script kiddie. But now we have a cutscene to finish off the video and leads into more backtracking. I'm so excited.
Woo! Uh-oh.
So what did these ones die of, Savage?
Complete neurological breakdown from the looks of it. Organ collapse, nerve degradation.
Find him. There's been some trouble on the base. My man will take care of it. You were saying?
We may be looking at serious cross-systemic failure issues with the OCM.
It's those god-awful implants, Gary. The whole inhumane procedure. After a while, it just burns them out.
Has this been happening at the other sites?
We've experienced some die-off, yes, but I've been told Dr. Reed's research may offer a breakthrough. If we could bring her back here...
That's not going to happen.
Then we need to start considering other options. A nanotech-based solution, performed on willing volunteers.
And are you volunteering yourself, Doctor?
Tiffany, please. I need to look at the raw data, Commander. If you would.
I turned a blind eye to your little office romance, Savage. But if she becomes a problem, she will be volunteering.